Hello everyone. I'm just going to wait a few minutes for people to hop on live and join me. Hope you're all doing well. Say hi as you're hopping on live. And if you're catching the replay, also say hi. Let me know that you've shown up for yourself and dedicated this time to find out what I'm about to share with you. Okay, so hi Maxime, how are you doing? Hi Fien. Great to have you ladies. Hi Laura. Okay. Hi Hayley. Nice to see you. Hi Anne. Hi Teal. Good. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Hi Hannah. Okay, cool. So basically, this is for you. If you are done with the constant overthinking and judging yourself and holding yourself back, this is not how you want to keep living the rest of your life. You know that there's another way. You see the possibility. You know you're capable of living a life with so much more ease and joy and basically just being the full expression of you, however that may look like and feel like for you. So let me know if this is you. Let me know in the comments. And for those of you who are new to me, I am Ali. I'm a holistic wellness and confidence coach, and I help shy introvert women to step into their most confident selves so that they can live their lives with peace, inner peace, with passion and with purpose. And the reason I'm so passionate about this is because it's been my own journey. So I was that shy, insecure, self-conscious girl. I was ashamed of my introverted nature, didn't believe in myself, always comparing myself to others and feeling less than, and just so frustrated that I couldn't change or I couldn't maintain the changes that I wanted to make. And I've made the shift to where I am today, feeling confident and empowered and feeling so much love for myself, believing in myself, and just so grateful and excited for everything that's yet to come. And obviously I've done that. It's taken me, several years, but I've done that using these steps that I've now condensed, that I'm going to share with you. And I continue to use these steps as I grow because I fully believe that there is, infinite potential for growth, and personal growth is like my biggest drive in life. But instead of seeing it like, oh, I still need to improve, like I'm not complete, or I can't be happy until I reach this state. No, it's not about that. It's about enjoying the journey and just where we are in each moment. Okay, it's not about like this end goal, because you're already whole and complete exactly as you are. Okay, it's just about, well, I'm going to explain to you what it's about. Okay, so let's get into it. Just a heads up, I will be including lots of powerful questions for you to reflect on. But so there is an option to take notes, but I do suggest just listening through this first time so you can be fully present and just soak it all in. And then, you could go back and pause the video and reflect on these questions in your own time. Okay, So the first step of my 4-step formula for stepping into your most confident self is actually knowing yourself, knowing who you are. So when you lack self-confidence, self-esteem, it's very common to focus and exaggerate, your flaws, your imperfections, your weaknesses, all the things that you don't have that you want. And it can create this very unbalanced, distorted view of who you are. And then because of that as well, because of having this kind of distorted view of who you are, it's common to also feel like you don't really know what your opinions are, or what your passions are, or what you believe in. Again, because you're just so kind of focused on all the things that are, wrong with you. And so first off, you have to just get to know the real you, the real whole you. Simply by, sitting down and giving yourself that time to just explore these things. So, for example, what are your personal needs and preferences? So whether or not you identify with being an introvert, just exploring what types of environment, activities, social interactions do you thrive in? Do you enjoy the most? Which ones drain you? Like how long and how often do you like to engage in these things? Do you have any sensitivities? Like, you might be sensitive to other people's emotions, or the media, or bright lights, loud music, alcohol, whatever it is for you. Just kind of being aware of what affects you, both positively and negatively. So that's one area. Then, so it just said that there was disconnecting there, but I think we're all good. Your passions. What do you love doing? What lights you up? What fascinates you? What do you love learning about? And then your desires, so important. What is it that you want? How do you want to feel? Who do you desire to be? What else would you love to do or be or have or achieve? And most importantly, why? Why are these things important to you? How will they impact your life? Okay, values, another important thing to just know about. What is important to you? What are your values? What do you feel strongly about? What do you care about? What do you admire in other people? So this could be qualities like, honesty, kindness, authenticity, confidence, or it could be kind of lifestyle categories like health or travel or having fun or personal growth. Okay, and then your strengths, another important one. What are you good at? What comes naturally to you? What challenges have you overcome and learnt from? Okay. And then final category that I like to focus on is, what are your areas that you'd like to heal and grow? So, what are some of your fears that you'd love to overcome? What are some of your triggers that you'd love to heal? So, just being aware of the things that trigger you to feel certain ways, like guilt or shame or anger or jealousy. What triggers do you have that you'd love to heal? And hi Corel, no worries. And what kind of unwanted habits and things that you keep repeating but you'd really like to let go of, what are they? And so obviously this last this last kind of group is perhaps one that you've been focusing on the most, because like I said, it's common to focus in on all those things that you're unhappy about, and you know, things that you're, you know, just uncomfortable, you don't like them, but you're kind of focusing on them. But I hope you can see that, you know, there is so much more to you than just your perceived, you know, flaws and weaknesses. And I love to see it as areas to heal and grow rather than flaws and weaknesses, because yeah, we don't want to use those words. So we can take those words out of our vocab. And when you do this, it's just about writing as many answers as you can. There's no limit. And in fact, when you think that you don't know what else to write, just keep going, because I guarantee there will be more stuff. It's just that often we just don't give ourselves that time to do it. And there's a few important things to be aware of when you do this kind of self-discovery journaling exercise. So the first thing is, it is key that you listen to your heart and just be totally honest with yourself. Because otherwise it can be very easy to write down things that maybe you used to like, but you no longer do, or things that you think you should, you know, like or believe in, or things that your friends or family or the media or society in general, you know, kind of portray as important, but don't necessarily feel true for you. So that's why, you know, so important, just be honest, completely honest, and listen to your heart. This is about you. The second thing to be aware of is, not to be aware of, to practice, is having compassion for yourself. Okay, so if you find some parts difficult to answer or difficult to accept, just breathe. Notice that resistance that you feel, and just make the decision to drop all judgment towards yourself. Okay? Drop the resistance, drop the judgment. This is about what feels true for you right now and at this stage of your life. And there's really no wrong answer here. Okay, and then the reason that this, you know, practicing this compassion for yourself, the reason this is so important is because when you do that, when you have this kind of acceptance towards yourself, towards your past, whatever's happened in your past, and just towards your current situation, that actually allows you to move forwards with more ease. Because what people often don't realize is that when you're focused on all the things that you don't like, you're actually keeping yourself stuck in this state of resistance and shame and judgment, and it's kind of like an endless cycle, which you might be familiar with. And as soon as you just accept things as they are right now, and as you know, whatever has happened up until now, then you can actually choose to either embrace them as a part of who you are, a part of your nature, or you can decide that it's something you'd like to work on healing and developing from a place of love towards yourself and from a place of empowerment, rather than from a place of like, you know, I need to do this, I should do this, or, you know, from a place of shame and judgment. Okay? Is this all making sense? And then the third thing to practice or to be aware of when you're doing this self-discovery, like getting to know yourself, is that some of these things may be an inherent part of your nature, but they can also change and evolve along with you. And this is perfectly normal and common and perfectly okay. So just remain open to that possibility. Your answers are not set in stone. We all have permission to change. But, you know, it's just about feeling into what feels true for you at this stage of your life. And I actually do this exercise several times when I feel like it, because I get so much joy and satisfaction out of it, out of like just knowing what I believe in and what my passions are and all of those things. I love doing it. And that was doing this kind of exercise was also what led me or helped me to see that coaching was the path for me to take. And I made a transition from being a speech and language therapist. I made a transition to being a wellness coach. And yeah, it was this kind of just getting really real and honest with myself and doing this exploration that helped me with that. So the benefits of doing this is like once you know what feels true for you and you have that kind of clarity and understanding of all these things, you get to embrace them. You get to fully accept and embrace them. And, you know, these are the things that make you unique. It's the things that shape who you are. And the other bonus is that they will act as a guide for your decisions, the decisions that you make and the actions that you take. You know, when you're very clear on all these things, you know, your needs, your desires, your passions, your values, when you're very clear on these things, they act as a guide for your decisions, which of course helps with to prevent indecision. And yeah, just having all of that, having that clarity, that understanding, that compassion for yourself will naturally boost your confidence, 100%. So that is the first step to this formula. Okay, and so the second step is all about discovering what is holding you back. Okay, so to do this, we're going to explore your current sense of identity and the type of mindset that you have. And the key word here is current, because it can change. Okay, it's not fixed. You're not destined to think and feel and act the same way for the rest of your life. You do have a lot of control over this. You just might not fully realize it yet, how much control you have. So what we're going to look at first is all the things that you identify with. So obviously the things you identify with are the things that form your sense of identity. Okay, so first of all, how would you describe yourself? How would you describe your appearance, your character, personality, your abilities? Okay. How would other people describe you? So you may have an idea, maybe some people have used certain words to describe you before. How do you think other people see you? So your answers to these questions is looking at the labels that you identify with and the beliefs that you have about yourself. So, for example, I'll get to your questions in a minute. So, for example, you know, you might have labels such as I am quiet, I'm reserved, I'm shy. It's just about being aware of what are these words, what are these labels that you are identifying with, and you might have positive ones too, and that's, you know, definitely acknowledge those as well. We're just removing the judgment, we're just noticing, we're just observing and acknowledging. So let me just get, will the 4 tips or questions be posted along? no, the questions won't be posted, so that's why I suggested, but there will be a replay of this, so you can go back to it and then pause and do these, do these reflections in your own time. Okay, so then the next question is like, how do you talk to yourself? Noticing, how do you talk to yourself? When you look in the mirror, what are you saying to yourself? When you're in social situations, when you're at work, when you're at home, when you are walking in public, when you make mistakes, when you achieve something, what is your kind of reaction? How do you talk to yourself when these things happen? Again, just noticing. And then what standards do you measure yourself against? So this is looking at like, what do you believe you should do or be or have in order to feel loved, accepted, worthy? Okay, so for example, you might have the belief that, as a woman, I feel or I believe that I should always look attractive in order for other people to like me. Or you might have, a belief that in order to feel accepted, I feel I should always agree with other people, or I should like the same things as them. Okay, so this could be for various different roles, as a mother, as a daughter, as a friend, whatever comes up for you, just exploring that. And then looking at your mindset, what kind of beliefs do you have around your desires? Okay, so once you've done that exploration around what your desires are, it's then looking at, okay, what are my beliefs around these desires? Do I believe they're possible? Do I believe I'm worthy of them? Do you, for example, look at other people who have fulfilled your desires, who've got what you want, and do you think, oh, they're luckier than me, they're better than me, or like, that, in other words, I can never be like her, for example? Or do you feel like, no, you're just as capable of doing that? So yeah, just looking at, how do you view, for example, becoming confident? How do you view that desire? What are your beliefs around that? What are your beliefs around happiness? What are your beliefs around speaking up, speaking your mind, or asking for what you want, or whatever your desires are? It could be being healthy, being successful, setting up a business, being visible, whatever your desires are, exploring what your beliefs are about them. And then just, it's about, okay, where did these beliefs come from? And this is not like, you don't need to go and analyze your whole past, but it's just a very interesting question to think about. Okay, where did this belief come from? Where did these beliefs come from? How old were you? It's very common that, these kind of core beliefs we have are heard or are based on things we've heard or experienced as children, from our parents, from our teachers, from friends, from the media. So, just being aware. And often these beliefs are actually subconscious and kind of, playing out, and we don't fully realize. So this is about shedding light on them. And then, checking in, how do you feel about these when you think about all of these labels and beliefs? When you identify with them, how do they make you feel? And how do they affect your behavior? How do they impact your life? Okay? So from doing all of that, you should have a really good overview of what makes up your identity and the kind of mindset that you currently have. And it's going to be most likely a combination of positives, negatives, and neutral things. But of course, it's looking at what is dominating. If those negative beliefs are dominating, then that's what we're looking at. And the reason, this is so powerful is because, first of all, awareness, having self-awareness is number one. It's the first thing. If we're not aware of something, we can't do anything about it. So this is about building that self-awareness of, how your mind is working and what your identity and mindset is made up of. And, just having that awareness of how they're influencing your life, seeing the parts that are holding you back, and most importantly, seeing them for what they are, just beliefs. As powerful as they are, they're just beliefs. They're just like programs or conditioning that you have learnt, absorbed, accumulated over the years since you were very little. And just recognize that they're not fixed. Okay? So the perfect analogy for this is seeing your mind like a garden. And those limiting beliefs are like the weeds that have been, left unkept, left to grow and to take over the garden, and they need to be pulled out. Okay, it might take a bit of work, but it is possible. And that leads us on to step 3, which is all about pulling out the weeds and planting new seeds. Okay, so step 3 is all about reprogramming your mind so that you can break free from the limitations of your mind and reclaim your power and discover who you really can be. So that's, your most empowered, confident self, your true potential. So I'd love for you for those who are on live right now, I'd love for you to just share one core limiting belief that you have. Okay? And if you're watching the replay, obviously just think of one, because this process for step 3, obviously you can do it with all of your limiting beliefs, but to be, to have an example here, just pick one right now. And if you're willing to share it, please do so. And when you've got that, okay, Laura, I'm worthless. And when you've got that belief, reflect again how it makes you feel, how it shows up in your life, how it's impacting your life. Fiona, I don't have anything to offer. I know that one well. So how is it making you feel? How does it impact your life? How are you behaving as a result of this belief? And therefore, recognize that you're keeping it alive by behaving in that way as well, because obviously the more we do something, the more it becomes part of our identity. It's just like, it's what we do. It's how we think, it's how we feel, it's what we do. These are things that form our identity. I am not enough. Yeah. Okay, so once you've thought about those things, even though now the aim here is to realize that, they are limiting you, this belief is limiting you, you are usually gaining something from it. Okay? So what do you think you are gaining from having this belief? Annabelle says, everyone in my family is more important than me. I'm too quiet or shy to do. Yeah. Really common ones. So what do you think you are actually gaining from having this belief? Well, for example, believing you're not good enough to do something, whatever it might be, it's most likely keeping you safe because it's protecting you from, potentially getting judged, getting rejected, messing up, facing your fear, basically, and the discomfort that can come with that. It might even be, keeping you safe from becoming successful, because fear of success is also a real thing because of the associations you might have attached to it. So, for example, like fear of feeling like being successful means you're going to be seen in a new way, or you might have extra pressure, or not enough time for yourself, all of these types of things. And so, by not risking any of those things, this belief that you have is actually keeping you safe in your comfort zone. It's keeping you safe with what's familiar. So there's no change, there's no risk involved. So just being aware of how this, limiting belief is actually kind of benefiting you is important to understand why it's so hard to let it go. Okay, I'm just going to have a sip of water. Right, so now the most powerful part to this step. Is this belief really 100% true? Does it represent the whole you? Does it represent the real you? And in fact, you could even put your hand on your heart and ask that question. Does this belief represent the real me? Is there a time, or are there times, where you've actually disproved this belief? For example, like, you did offer something, you did speak up, and you did get your point across, and you did feel, confident and fulfilled and proud. Because, if these types of things, I can guarantee that you have done these, you have disproved this belief, and this is key evidence that this limiting belief you have is not fixed. It's not like set in stone. And so, if it's not fixed, do you want to keep this belief? Do you want to keep this program running and basically dictating your life? Or do you want to replace it with a new one? Does this limiting belief support your desires? So, for example, if you have a belief that you want to be confident, a desire that you want to be confident, but you have a belief that you're not good enough or that you're not capable enough, there's a mismatch there, and that desire is never going to be fulfilled because your belief contradicts it. This is powerful stuff. Okay, so who would you be without that belief? Who were you before you had that belief? Because, newsflash, you were not born with that belief. You were not born believing that you weren't good enough, or that your family were more important than you, or that you were too quiet and shy to do anything. You didn't have these beliefs. You learnt them. And you can unlearn them. So at this point, I hope you're realizing that you have a choice. That what you choose to believe will be true for you. That's the power of beliefs. That's how it works. And this is where our power lies. I always get chills thinking about this, because it's been the biggest thing for me as well, realizing that I have a choice. I get to choose what I believe. I get to choose how I feel. So, what would you rather be believing? If you were to remove that weed from the garden of your mind, remove that limiting belief, what new seed would you love to plant? Would you love to replace it with? So this is where you get to tap into the empowered version of you. The one who knows she has a choice. The one who knows her power. Okay, so what does the empowered you, the empowered version of you, choose to believe about herself? And if something comes to you right now, I would love to hear what it is. So drop a comment. Don't overthink it. Just if, you can close your eyes and just ask yourself that question. What does the empowered me choose to believe about myself? And, just roll with it. So then ask yourself, how does she choose to talk to herself? How does she choose to see the world? And then a really important one, how does she choose to respond when she makes mistakes? When she faces challenges? When she gets triggered? When she feels negative emotions? Because I want to stress this part. This is not about becoming a perfect human being where suddenly everything is rainbows and unicorns and you don't make any mistakes and you don't have any fears and you have no more challenges. No, it's about who you're being and how you respond when these things happen. When life happens. Okay, and so this is why it's so important to practice self-love and compassion and forgiveness when you're doing all of this, like in general, so that you don't fall back into that endless negative cycle of shame and judgment and resistance, because then you just end up getting stuck in that place. Okay, so instead, imagine if when you make mistakes, you were to be like, okay, I've learned from that mistake, I forgive myself, move on. Imagine how much easier that is for you to move forwards that way. And you actually, it's also about reframing how you see mistakes and failures. They're always something to learn from. That's a little mindset tip there. So how would embodying this empowered version of you impact your life? How would that change things? And why is that important for you? Okay, if something comes up, again, feel free to share it just to make this even more real for you. Why this is important. How would this impact your life? How would it change things? Why is this important for you? Okay. So, the fourth and final step of my 4-step formula for stepping into your most confident self is taking inspired daily action that is in alignment with this empowered version of you. So this is about nurturing those seeds that you've planted, embedding those new beliefs. Now, you have been living with the old limiting beliefs and thoughts and behaviors, because they all influence one another, for many years, most likely. And, playing them out on repeat, that's how habits are formed, right? When we do things over and over again. And so now this is about repeatedly doing things differently, creating a new normal, new ways of thinking, new ways of behaving. And luckily, this doesn't have to take years for you. Studies have actually shown that it takes 21 days to create a new habit. So that's the good news. But the magic lies in the consistency. Okay? Consistently creating this new normal, this new way of thinking and doing things. So you're not just sitting and waiting to suddenly feel different, or, doing the things for a few days and then not really seeing results, and so you give up and you fall back into old ways. You are initiating and embodying your transformation by choosing to be your most empowered self, your most confident self, in every moment that you're aware, basically. This is not something that, it's not in a distant point in the future. This is, you have this choice in every moment. And it's just a matter of doing that consistently, choosing that new way of thinking, being, feeling, behaving consistently. So what things can you do to honor your new identity and to honor your new beliefs, bring it to life? Well, there are 4 powerful practices that you can do. I will share those with you now, which is, one is affirmations. Okay, so this is the act of thinking, writing, saying your new empowering beliefs in the present tense, always. So like, I am, I feel, I get to, I'm learning to, it is safe for me to, all of these types of things, making them positive, of course, and repeating them as much as possible so that they get embedded in your mind. Second powerful practice to do is meditation. Great way to calm your mind, great way to just practice being present, to observe your thoughts rather than get carried away with them. It's a great way also to just connect with your true feelings and your heart's desires and your inspirations. Third powerful practice to do is visualizations. So, just have fun with that. Just visualize your most empowered self, fulfilling all of your desires. Engage all your senses. Definitely have fun with it. And something I love to do is visualize myself from waking up and, like my ideal day to the evening. That's a really powerful thing. And feeling is really important as well. Just as you're doing those affirmations and visualizations, feeling it as well. And the fourth one is journaling. So, getting into this practice of journaling daily, if possible, where you acknowledge your wins, your realizations, what you're grateful for every time you do something differently that's in alignment with your empowered self. And also all the things that you're excited about coming as well. Because you've got that kind of knowing, that belief, that trust that, you are going to fulfill your desires. You are on that path. And then, of course, as you go throughout your day, It's about being as mindful as possible of your thoughts, of the way you're talking to yourself, of the words you're using in conversation. So language is so powerful. So just always checking in. If you sense that something is, limiting, like limiting language, or if it's very obviously negative, so whether that's, judging, complaining, making excuses, blaming, doubting, if you notice that language coming up, it's okay, forgive yourself, and just decide, okay, I noticed, I'm going to make a shift now. What language can I use instead that's going to be most supportive for me and most in alignment with who I want to be? And also, if you've done all this exploration, like in step 1, so you know what you want, you know what you believe in, you know what you want to work on, you know who you want to be. So then, are you following through with your word? This is another important thing. So you might be thinking about it and maybe talking about all these things. The next part is that action. Are you following through? And then with your feelings, again, your emotions throughout the day, just being mindful of them. Remember how you want to feel, how your empowered self chooses to feel, this new you, and this is as a result of your new beliefs as well. And just make that your priority. So apart from those 4 key practices I just shared with you, what else will promote these desired feelings for you? So it could be, listening to music, making time for your passions, making sure you're getting good sleep, exercise, healthy food, taking regular work breaks, these types of things, whatever is going to promote the way that you want to feel, as well as you declaring, this is how I want to feel, and this is how the empowered me chooses to feel. And of course, there's nothing wrong with feeling negative emotions. It's part of being human. They are there to tell you something. They're there to show you that something is off. Something needs to be acknowledged, expressed, healed in whatever way feels good for you, as opposed to suppressing those emotions or resisting them or judging them. And, by expressing them and releasing them, that's how you will be able to shift back to your desired feelings. Or just simply, a feeling of calm, neutrality. So it's all about how you treat your negative emotions and how your empowered self chooses to treat them. Okay, and then finally, being mindful of your behavior throughout the day, your habits. So are they aligned with your empowered self? Are they supportive of your desires? Looking at your daily schedule, looking at your habits, looking at your boundaries, looking at your routines. Are they intentional? Are they nourishing? Are they loving? Are they supportive of who you want to be and what you want to, your desires? As opposed to being on autopilot and being draining or unhealthy or self-sabotaging. To just being aware of that. Are you honoring your needs, your values? Are you making time for your passions? Okay, let me read this comment. The empowered version of me would be a lot calmer and kinder to herself. Help me discover what it is that I really want for myself. Know what I want to do. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so just remember that on an intellectual level, you may be very aware of your limiting beliefs and how they are impacting your life, and how your limiting beliefs and your habits, how they're holding you back. And you might be like, yes, I get it, I understand it, but that's not enough to actually change the program. This is where this final step of taking that action, initiating it and choosing that new way of thinking and being in order to make it a reality. That's where this is so crucial. And a powerful quote for you: we don't attract what we want, we attract what we are, how we're being. So like attracts like. This is why it's so important to be, feeling those feelings that you want to feel, and just kind of embodying it now, not being in a state of like, I want this but I don't have it, because that's, you're gonna be attracting that state of lack and need and want, rather than that state of like, feeling the feelings, the gratitude, the excitement, all of those things that you want to feel. Okay, so this is where, at the beginning it can feel, a little forced or fake when you're, telling yourself these beliefs, or, acting in these new ways. But I promise you, with daily action and commitment, your subconscious mind will start to accept your new beliefs. And, the more you do these, the more you act in these new ways, the more it will become part of your identity, your new identity. Okay, so that is my 4-step formula for stepping into your most confident self. And ladies, if you are feeling ready and excited to make this shift so that you can fulfill all your desires, you can speak your mind freely, you can connect more to others, own your strengths, have the courage to go after your dreams, but you know that you need that support and accountability to do this, then I would love to introduce to you my latest program. It's called Becoming Her Now. Step into your most confident self and live the life you truly desire. So it's 5 weeks. It's a 5-week group program. In 5 weeks, we're going to make this happen. No more waiting, no more overthinking, no more holding yourself back. It will be a small group, so it will be with other women who feel the same way as you, who are as committed as you are to making this shift. It will be in a private Facebook group, and there will be a combination of training and coaching. And we're going to go through these steps in depth. You're going to gain so much clarity and understanding on who you are, and you're going to discover exactly what's holding you back. You're going to reprogram your mind so that your beliefs are in alignment with who you want to be, your most empowered self. And you're going to take that consistent action so that you embody her, you become her, and you do not look back, you don't give up. There's also going to be journal exercises with many more powerful questions for you to do that inner work, and also lots of other amazing tips and techniques on mindset and self-love practices. And really the power of this kind of group is, first of all, having the coaching, having the guidance from me throughout the 5 weeks, so that when your fears, your doubts come up, your excuses, your self-sabotage, because, it's part of being human, it happens. When they come up, you get to share it so that we can get you moving through them and out the other side, growing each day, rather than getting stuck and giving up. This is so important. And, you know, of course, whenever you have questions, you can ask those in the group. And no, without doubt, you will be learning from each other. The second thing is having that accountability, having that encouragement to take the action consistently, and, you know, follow through with what you say you want and what you say you will do. And again, not giving up, not procrastinating. And thirdly, just being in the right energy. So I know how easy it is to get influenced by the energy, the emotions, the words of other people around us, of the media. And it really can have unfortunately, a negative influence when we, you know, absorb that kind of negative energy from other people. And being in this non-judgmental, inspiring, positive, encouraging space will be so powerful. And I know this firsthand because I have my own coach. I'm currently in an amazing group with some other women entrepreneurs. And I know how much easier and more enjoyable it is when you have all of this. And it just saves so much time and energy and money in the long run, because where you would normally let yourself procrastinate and doubt and dwell in the negativity and be influenced by other people, you no longer do that. Not only because of the support of the group, but because you've made that commitment to yourself. So powerful. Okay, so we start on the 9th of May, and the 48-hour early bird investment is $275. This is British pounds. Or 5 weekly payments of £62. And the first 3 women who join will get a bonus 30-minute one-on-one call with me. After the 48 hours, it's going to go to the full price of $375. And there will be a payment plan available for that too. So this is an amazing deal. Take advantage of it. Let's do this. Let this be the time that you said yes to yourself. You said yes to your confidence, to your power, to your potential, to making the most of this life that you've been given. Okay, just send me a message if you want to sign up, ladies. I'm so excited about this. And thank you so much for being here. Thank yourself for being here, for showing up today. And yeah, have an amazing day. Sending you all so much love and positive vibes. And I'll speak to you soon.